Hey y'all, so we've been a little slacking on the videos recently. Life has been busy and I don't really know, just it's a lot of sometimes it's a lot extra to get the camera out and do things. So anyway, we're out here in the garden and the tomatoes are still doing all right. They're starting to die out some, but they're still producing heavily, and we've been picking every day and canning a lot of tomato sauce, so that's awesome. Our green beans across the creek, something keeps getting there and eating them, so they're not doing so hot. Whole beans are starting to get blooms.
But the battle continues.
The battle
we haven't
continues.
given up
We're
yet.
not giving up yet, but
We have another pound.
Yeah.
We're gonna still try.
Yeah,
try
we're
some
gonna
more
try
things
one more time. We have just enough time to try one more time, because we don't give up that easily. We need stinking green beans.
Yes.
So anyway, we have the pole beans. So they're not producing yet, but they've got blooms all over them. So
Yes.
they look
You wanna see
good.
'em? They're reaching up, trying to get across to the top. Oh yeah, look, look. A thunderstorm is rolling in.
That's pretty.
It is very pretty.
So our Seminole pumpkins, I don't know if they can see them from here,
Probably.
are on that trellis, and they're starting over the top. They look really good. Cucumbers are dying. We had a major heat wave, and the tomatoes and cucumbers suffered. It was way hotter and more humid than normal. But we're gonna rob one of those cattle panels from the cucumbers because we need to trellis these tomatoes. And let me show you. Hopefully they will. Here you go, baby. Emma gave me that board. You can have it now. Let me show you. Which we were needing to trellis these like 2 weeks ago, and I pruned them once, and they're out of control still. There's some weeds.
The hay in the beds has helped out
It has
tremendously.
helped tremendously. We're getting
Craziness.
blooms on here. This is the Dr.
And what are
Witchies.
these?
The Dr. Witchies, Wikies, whatever you want to call them. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've heard people call them all three, so I just say whatever they are. No, here's one right here. So I pruned and suckered them, and we're going to have enough time to get some more because, I mean, they're just now setting blossoms, and they need to be suckered again. I need to really keep these suckered. I kind of quit suckering my other tomatoes at some point, and I should have kept on because they got completely crazy. And then on the end, the two here are purple Russian saucing tomatoes. I haven't paid much attention. Oh, you hear that thunder? I don't know if y'all can hear that. It's thundering a little bit. We'll have to go soon. But anyway, this isn't like a full official garden tour. I haven't done one, but this is just kind of
a life update.
A quick garden life. So these,
We're coming out of survival mode to catch y'all up a little bit.
Derek's been working, and we got an ear of corn. So we pulled some corn recently, and it did really well for us. We're excited, and we have a big, I don't know how many gallons it is. We have frozen a bunch, probably 4 or 5 gallons, I don't know. And look how pretty it is. We pulled one glass gem corn to see how they were looking, and it was really pretty and looking good. We're gonna leave those on the plant. We haven't gotten any popcorn set yet, but it's really starting to get tall, so that we should get some popcorn. 'Cause we still have plenty of time before frost. Watch out, baby. Don't step on the plants. So anyway, we're gonna rob a cattle panel, stick it in here, and get these tied up because they're going everywhere, and they need to not be going everywhere. They need to be going somewhere, but they're supposed to be going. And over here, look, we don't even want to talk about the perennial garden.
No.
Because all of this, I'm going to mulch it and we're going to weed eat. It has not happened, and there are melons in there mingled amongst the ginormous huge weeds, and this is real life on a homestead. Sometimes there's something that just gets neglected grossly and severely. But that's okay. Girl's bed still looks pretty good. Kylie decided she was tired of her marigolds taking over, and she pulled them out and threw them on the ground. She said she gave them to Emma, but Emma wasn't aware that she was supposed to do something with them. So, but theirs is still looking good. Our peppers have done okay this year. Like, we've put a couple of jelly jars in the freezer. Anyway, these little melons are doing really well, and they're really good. They're small, but they are delicious. This one's pretty big. We need to support some of these hanging. We've been picking off the ground, but they're starting to come through. And Kylie's rescue plant has a ripe San Marzano, just about right. We'll leave it. We got more in the house. We got some more sauce, but everything's wild and out of control. But overall, looks pretty good.
It does.
Hi, Piggy.
All right, here's the piggies. Look how big they've gotten. Y'all probably haven't seen them in a good bit. For comparison, there's my hand. Oh, he touched me.
Yes.
With his nasty, stinky piggy nose now. They're cute.
Yes,
So
we had to put the poultry netting around because
Yeah, they were getting out.
they figured out that if they got a run and start, they could run right through the wire and only get shocked a little bit.
Look how big they've gotten. This
Oh,
one,
yeah.
the one that looks like Gertrude,
Yeah,
that one we'll probably butcher her in another, what?
month or two.
We had to say 4 or 6 weeks, something like
It
that.
won't be before we get our walk-in cooler.
No, and we're excited about that. That's still in the works and coming. We're really excited about that. But look at them; they just look really good.
They do.
You
All
looking
right.
at bacon? What do you say?
Hey, girls.
Here we are, the beautiful American Tarentaise cows. Hey, pretty girls. They're like, what is this?
Don't hit that wire,
Yeah,
Kylie.
don't touch the wire, Lydia. Wrong
Oh,
day.
that's Lydia. Yeah, that's Mr. Fuzzhead.
Miss Fuzz. Aw, she's sweet. But yeah, look at this one right here. Look how solid she is.
Oh, they're beautiful.
They're beautiful cows. There's more. So we have 24 of them here. They're all here and happy and healthy and grazing. Gertrude's down there over the creek. She's not really integrating into the herd. She's an introvert cow.
Way down there.
And Buttercup, which we
Like,
need to catch and put up.
There.
We need to catch Buttercup, put her up for the night so we can milk tomorrow.
Yes.
We forgot to put her up. How do you forget to put the calf up?
Life is busy.
Life is busy. Last night we were like, it was like, what, 9:30 or 10 maybe, and we were getting ready to go to bed, and we were like, forgot to put the calf up. But at that point, it was too late because in order for us to get a decent amount of milk, we have to separate them at least 12 hours, and 14 is about, if we separate 14, we get a gallon or so, but if we don't, we get a lot less. I feel like
Yeah.
she produces just a whole lot more in that last little 2-hour window.
She does.
So we were like, but
So,
Get him up.
I was going to point out,
uh-huh.
these Tarentaise, you can run, the guy we got them from, he has Tarentaise, and his uncle has Angus.
Mm-hmm.
He can run 3 of these Tarentaise on the same land that his uncle runs 2 Angus on.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why.
They
Do you see these
everything.
weeds and things? I mean, they're right here chowing down on weeds. I mean, there's like stalks
Right.
of just weeds here that they've eaten the leaves off of, that Gertie and the other cows won't even touch. They don't even look at it.
Gertie's a cow pasture snob.
Yeah,
She
she
likes
is.
grass and that's it.
But they're very good foragers. Even like down at the creek where they hang out, they've eaten the stickweeds.
Yep.
It's crazy. So we're pretty excited about these.
And some of them are black, some of them are red. Obviously, there's a name. So we
Yes.
talked about it. So they were brought to America from France in the 50s, I believe it was, somewhere around then.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think it was. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was. But what they did was they took it's a dairy cow in France, and they would graze them up on the high elevation, and they would follow them and milk them and bring the milk back, and they made a specific type of cheese. And their milk is pretty comparable in cream and all that to Jersey. So when they brought them to America, they liked the fact that they produced so much milk and they grew big calves. What they did was they crossed them one time with an Angus, and then they took that and bred it back to an a French Tarentaise. Is that right?
Yeah.
So that calf was
3/4 Tarentaise.
3/4 Tarentaise, 1/4 Angus at that point,
Mhm.
I think.
And then that's the
And then-
American Tarentaise
And at
breed.
that point, that became the breed. So the
Yeah.
breed isn't a cross anymore. It's not an Angus cross. They bred the Angus into it and made it its own breed. And so now it's the American Tarentaise, which you can see their udders don't look like beef cow udders. They're not like huge. Most of them aren't huge like a dairy cow udder. They're like a good in between. So it's really interesting. One day, I'll have an A2 Jersey cow, and we'll hopefully have an A2 Tarentaise bull, and that would make a really nice cross
Yep.
too. But
They've been very respectful of the wire so far. I mean, we've got this one little single strand. We have our whole perimeter fenced with 4 strands of high tensile, 4,000 volts on it. It's a hot charger. but these cows are very respectful. They will not mess with this one strand of fence. And I saw one bump it one time on accident. So, but anyway, let's walk over here. I just moved him into this piece of pasture today. We have a hard time. I would love to do daily moving, but our creek banks drop off about this high, straight to the creek. So I have a hard time getting my fence across the creek and doing water gaps on temporary fencing. It's a lot of work. It just doesn't, I haven't figured it out yet. I've tried a little piece of poultry netting and letting it drape down and hang into the creek. That works to keep them out, but then it eventually hangs into the water and it knocks the fence down to like 1,000 volts, which they still respect, but I'm not comfortable with that. So anyway, we're basically, I've got 3 sections of pasture on this half of the property, or this side of the creek, I should say. There's way more land over on the other side of the creek for them to graze, but I'm gonna guess they're gonna be on this for 3 or 4 days before I move them to across the creek. But over here, I mean, this, where they've eaten these weeds off. It's just crazy. They got in this patch of weeds and eaten it. It's been here all summer and our cows won't touch it, but these cows love it. So, just a comparison from where we brought them from today to where they are. And they like me. They think that I'm going to feed them again. But look. You see this line? This is where they were. Over here. And here's where they are now. And this was even taller earlier. They've eaten the tops off of a lot of these weeds.
Yeah.
Already.
All of this looked like that.
Yeah, it did. And
they're licking their lips.
This will, as soon as we get some rain,
That's
it's
what
going
I
to
say
pop
about
back up
corn.
quickly. But you can see all the way down across the creek, like how much they've eaten. So much
they've
of this
grazed
down.
the
I mean,
whole
the
thing.
stickweeds are probably half of what we had. And that's why I grazed them before I cut it all, because I kind of wanted to see what they would eat. So now I have way less bush hogging to do. So we can just come through and just knock the stickweeds down, and this stuff it'll bounce right back because we haven't overgrazed it. So, but it is a learning thing. We did the pasture rotation in Florida on a much smaller scale. I mean, this piece of property that I grazed them on is bigger than the entire piece of property we had in Florida. So, it was much smaller scale, but this is really exciting, and it's exciting to learn. So
we have a much bigger property and many more cows.
right. Mm-hmm. But this has been. When did they come?
It's been a week and a few days since the first group came.
Okay.
Or a week. Is it a week today? Can't remember.
May have been a week.
It was an evening he brought. Wasn't it a Thursday? And then he brought more on Saturday. Today is Saturday, so it's been a week and 2 days from the first.
A week and 2 days.
Group, and then the next group was here, and then he came Monday with the third group, right?
Yeah.
So it's Thursday, Saturday, Monday.
Right. So I'm just kind of figuring out. I think they'll be here for 3 or 4 days. So basically.
And this goes kind of parallel with the barn straight down the hill, doesn't it?
Right.
Basically,
Yeah, it goes
like
straight
adjacent
down to the
creek.
barn. Then I've got another section over here that I didn't fence in because it just didn't make sense with what fence I had. I didn't have enough wire to fence it in at the time. But these guys are respecting this. I have polywire over there. Gertie is not a big respecter of polywire. These guys won't touch it. I've got 2 strands of polywire already ran. It's still laying over there. I just got to put the post back in. So
there's a lot of grass.
There's a lot of Johnson grass and stuff over there, which they absolutely love. So once they finish this section, I'll put posts back in over there, open up the gate, let them on that side, and then it'll be across the creek. And there's going to be probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 2-day sections over there. Probably more than that. It's hard
Yeah,
with
it's hard
just
to
looking
judge.
here. I haven't walked it. I mean, I need to walk it all, and then I can figure out how big it's going to be. But it's I believe it's going to work.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, if something doesn't work and we can't handle 24 cows on this land, then he's got a guy who's wanting to buy some, so we can take some out of the herd to sell.
We have the first.
We have first rights, basically, to buy them
Yeah.
and lease them.
But he won't be in a bind if we.
Right. If we
But
can't handle
hoping
them,
that
we're not
can
going to be in a
sustain
bind.
24 on the property.
Yes,
We
because
should,
it'll help
but,
the property. It'll help us. You know, every calf is another cow or steer that we're going to have.
Another step closer
Another
to our full future.
Full
herd.
beef, grass-fed beef operation. So
Yeah. This puts us way ahead because every young heifer we would have bought would have been at least 6 months to a year out from breeding, depending on how old they were. If we bought them at a year old or a year and a half, and then 10 to 11 months from breeding till they have a calf, and then you're looking at 2 years for a bull calf to be, we're making a steer calf to be
Yeah.
ready to be butchered, and then 2 years for a heifer calf to be bred. So it's a long, it's a
it would have been
it's a long-term dream and a long-term goal. So this bumps us way ahead.
instead of having 2 or 3 at best,
yeah.
now we have there's 24 here that we're
Well,
going to be able
and
to
the 2 or
keep calves
3
from.
we were going to purchase with selling our camper,
Right.
and with the truck
Breaking
issue,
down.
breaking down,
we
the
wouldn't-
camper money went
back into the
truck
Ford.
parts.
Yep.
So in reality is that we would not have been able to buy cows this year.
No, we wouldn't have.
We may have been looking at buying cows in the spring, or heifers that then would have to grow, and so this is a huge leap forward.
It's quite a blessing.
They look happy.
And they're pretty friendly. I mean, they're not like super afraid of me, but
Yeah. I mean, we're not letting the kids go in the
no,
pasture with them.
absolutely not. There's a couple that are
You just don't turn your back
you
on
don't turn your back on them, and you give them plenty of room because
Yeah.
they're
But
not
that's with
afraid.
any large livestock. You always
Right.
work with caution.
I'm a lot more cautious
Yeah.
since I got ran
as
over.
As far as the cap goes, part of why we missed putting the cap up too is Derek has to help the kids get it now. It used to be when it was just our 3 cows.
The kids could just
kids
walk
could
out
come out and grab
get
her and put her in the barn. But now Derek has to go with them, and they usually take the tractor, so they have that.
Yeah. I mean,
But if he's not available, we just don't. We just
Don't
won't.
put the
We
calf
just
up,
Don't put the
yeah.
calf up, which is a great thing when you're doing sharing the milk with the
calf share, yeah.
Your calf share, you can do that and still get your milk, the next day.
She's a pretty cow. She's almost a brindle color.
She is. She's very pretty. Which it is already 8, so that means that we're not going to milk until 8 to 10 tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I have a lazy morning.
Let me see if I can call
but we need to
Gertie
be
up
there.
here because the calf will
Yeah,
follow
so
her.
anyway. So this is kind of the quick update of the
What we've
cows,
got going on.
garden, which is kind of sad and petering out, aside from tomatoes, and they are still kind of petering out.
Yeah. Well,
And the pigs
it's
are going-
August, so.
Yeah, it's August. I mean, it's supposed to, so. All right.